All right, so today we're diving into Psalm 129.
Yep, from the book of Psalms.
Right, and we're looking at it through the New Living Translation over on YouVersion. I think it's really fascinating to look at these ancient texts, and see what they can tell us about, just the stuff we all deal with, like what makes us human.
Yeah, totally. And this one is described as a song for pilgrims ascending to Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
So right away you have that image of people literally going up, climbing towards the city.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't just a physical journey, right? It was probably, also symbolic of an upward journey in their faith. Like they were going through something.
Definitely, yeah. Like a metaphor for some of the challenges we all face, the uphill battles.
Exactly. So our goal today is to unpack the historical context for you a bit, but also pull out those timeless themes, the things that still resonate with us today.
Absolutely. And some of the big ones that pop out to me are like enduring persecution, and how
Right.
people find the strength to just keep going, that resilience. Also the hope for deliverance and a really strong like cry for justice.
Right.
It's all right there in the text. It starts off, "From my earliest youth, my enemies have persecuted me." Like, whoa, that's a long history of struggle right there.
Yeah, the longevity of it is really key here because earliest youth implies that, this wasn't just one bad thing that happened. It was a pattern.
Right.
Like adversity was woven into this person's life.
Right.
Sadly, that's something that a lot of people listening can probably relate to on some level. Like we all have those things we've dealt with for way too long.
And then it goes on to say, "But they have never defeated me." That's huge. Like, it's such a powerful statement of resilience. How do you see the song, like, conveying that strength, that refusal to be overcome?
Well, first, notice how it's phrased, right? It
Yeah.
says, "They have never defeated me." It's not just a passive description of suffering. The psalmist is actively framing their experience as survival, right?
Right.
And that act of remembering, like, they have never defeated me, coupled with that strong declaration that they haven't been conquered,
Yeah.
that really shows their inner strength. It shows how humans can withstand incredible pressure and not break.
It's amazing. And then the imagery in the next verse, it gets really intense. It says, "My back is covered with cuts, as if a farmer had plowed long furrows." Wow, that is a brutal image.
Yeah.
What is that comparison to plowing, what does that say about the kind of suffering being described?
I think it makes it much more visceral. When you think about plowing, you think about those deep parallel wounds in the earth.
Yeah.
It suggests that the suffering was severe and relentless, like it happened over and over again. The analogy makes you almost feel the pain.
Right. And then we see a shift in verse 4. "But the Lord is good. He has cut me free from the ropes of the ungodly." Now we have this idea of divine intervention, of being set free. How does this change the tone, change the perspective of the psalm?
Well, it's a really important shift because we move from a place of passive suffering to active rescue.
Yeah.
After this incredibly intense description of pain, the idea of faith coming in as a liberating force that introduces hope, it suggests that even in the darkest times, deliverance is possible. There's support out there.
And then the tone shifts again. We get this powerful cry for justice. It says, "May all who hate Jerusalem be turned back in shameful defeat. May they be as useless as grass on a rooftop, turning yellow and only half grown, ignored by the harvester, despised by the binder." Pretty strong language.
Yeah.
What's the significance of Jerusalem here?
So Jerusalem, and especially the temple there, was the heart of their religious and national identity. So to hate Jerusalem was to reject their core beliefs in their community.
Right.
And that image of rooftop grass, that's striking.
Yeah.
Because in that climate, it's shallow-rooted, it withers quickly, and it's basically worthless.
Right.
So it becomes a really powerful symbol of the complete failure and insignificance that the psalmist wants for their enemies.
And then it goes even further, saying, "And may those who pass by refuse to give them this blessing. The Lord bless you. We bless you in the Lord's name." This isn't just about punishment. It's like complete social and spiritual ostracization.
Right.
What does that reveal about how deeply the psalmist feels wronged?
Yeah, the fact that they're asking for even a common blessing to be withheld, that reveals a profound level of animosity.
Right.
It's not enough to just see their enemies defeated. The psalmist wants them completely rejected, cut off from any goodwill. It really highlights the depth of the hurt, the emotional wounds that are underneath all of this.
So if we were to try to sum up Psalm 129, what are the core messages, the key takeaways?
I think the psalm takes us on this really powerful journey. It starts with this deeply personal, long-standing suffering.
Right.
Then we see this powerful expression of resilience and faith in deliverance. And it culminates in this very intense desire for justice against those who have caused so much pain. It's that movement between struggle and hope that really makes this resonate. It's a
Yeah.
fundamental part of the human experience.
It really is. This ancient song, even though it's rooted in this very specific historical context, it gives voice to that enduring hardship, that unyielding spirit, and that universal yearning for justice, stuff we're still grappling with today.
Absolutely. And it makes me think, what are the enemies that we encounter in our own lives? Are they external obstacles or are they internal battles? How can we take that spirit of resilience, that refusal to be defeated, and couple it with the hope for eventual liberation, like we see so powerfully expressed in Psalm 129, and use it to face our challenges today?
That's a great question, something for us all to think about. Thanks for diving into this with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.